Final guest for this evening is Michael Mathias from DasCoin. I first met Michael at in the early days of cryptocurrencies on a foggy island in the middle of the English Channel, but that's a conversation for another time. And he also had a good head of hair in those days, unlike myself. So without more ado, I hope Michael Mathias will come on stage to talk about the evolution of money. Or maybe he'll come from above, I don't know. Thank you.
As a child, I was always looking around at the world and trying to determine what was missing and what was needed, how things could be better. I've always wanted to push boundaries, so I've been drawn to outside of the box type of solutions. And I've always looked to combine elements that maybe aren't normally combined. And so I think it's part of my nature. I very much have been aware of this theme of balance, and I felt naturally inside of us all, I think there's this growing awareness that there's something off. When you see homeless people in the streets, something's wrong about that. Something doesn't feel, right. You see institutions that are serving themselves, not the will of the people. And there is the potential that if we continue to let the process of centralization and these centralized institutions take that power from us, then there's a huge risk of going even further off balance. So this is a moment where our choice needs to be made. We need to put into position a system that supports the will of the collective. The entire mission of what we're doing with Das is to spread prosperity by creating a system that is perpetually in balance. We've created an ecosystem where all the elements for creating, storing, and exchanging value are in this symbiotic relationship and allows for an immense amount of value to be created and for that value to be distributed in a very equitable manner among the participants of the system. I feel that technology is really what's enabling this paradigm shift, but we can't lose our humanity in the process. And so what we've tried to do with the DasEcosystem is combine the best elements of what the technology can do with the great elements about us as people and who we are. And that's really what this whole enterprise is about, is experimenting with that combination of technology and people in ways that are in alignment with where we need to go to reach that full potential. I think that we are going to create an amazing new direction for the world to travel. I believe that the ecosystem has been established and is now primed to grow in a myriad of ways. And all of these are reinforcing directions that will bring out the full potential of who we are as a people. And so, yeah, I think the future is extremely bright, and I'm very pleased that we're on this path. Now we just need to have more and more people see what we see and come with us to where we're going.
Welcome, Michael Mathias.
Hey.
Great crowd. Hello, hello. So great to be here in London, and even more special to be at the O2 with everybody. It's been a great evening so far, right? Has everybody, I think this has been our best lineup of speakers. We're introducing some great concepts, great content here with the speakers tonight. And so I hope everyone is seeing some of the virtues of our new, the blockchain 24/7. Are you guys liking this new brand? This is gonna be the destination for information about blockchain. So really, really amazing moment that's happening for everybody in the DasCoin community. And it's a pleasure to be able to spend some time on the evening of our biggest milestone. And I just wanted to share some of the journey, you know. So just today is a special moment. And so I wanted to just let everybody know a little more insight about where we've come from and where we're going on this journey. So it really starts with this idea of creating a better way. When we see we've heard from all of the speakers today about how powerful the blockchain is, what an amazing impact it's going to make on the world. And so when I first started on the path, I could see that the blockchain was going to become something that was going to change the world. And where my thought was going is, what's the best way to harness this potential? What's the best model that we can create to tap into the full potential of blockchain? And as I think a lot of you have heard, and some of you that are new, I've really felt that balance is really an important theme. And I think there's a lot of emphasis on technology. Technology is absolutely where the emphasis needs to be. It's what opened up this whole pathway. But I think there's a tendency to forget about what's underneath all the technology, or actually how all the technology comes into being. And that is people. That's people. So what the goal has always been with this effort, with this ecosystem, is to get that great balance between the best technology and the best people we could find, and then create what would naturally become the best results. And so that's really been the recipe thus far. When we started this, we were lucky enough to be able to attract a nucleus of people. And I want to just kind of start from the top and mention that unlike many of the best blockchain technology out there, we really have put to the forefront from the very beginning our board. We think that the governance is the way to get to that balance. And so the board is a really important component, and we have been really fortunate to attract a board that anyone that knows some of these individuals, and you have Eberhard, a former deputy CEO of Volvo. You have Soon Hock, a former CEO of Compact Computers. You have Anna Heka, who has been the advisor to the Polish president. You have Augustine Vin, who has advised the White House. These are very high-level people. They have a tremendous amount of experience. They have tremendous integrity. And they do their due diligence when deciding to get involved with something. And we've had the just incredible blessings in having these people decide that this ecosystem is something they wanted to become involved with. And this is a very new realm. And so these are people with incredible reputations. And so it takes great courage for them to say, you know what, this seems like a direction that, makes a lot of sense, and we want to avail our reputations, our resources, our wisdom to make this the best possible outcome, the best possible ecosystem in the entire space. So we started with that place. Like this is a really important element of our whole, of everything we're doing. We also, as many of you know, we see this not as a singular enterprise. It's not a singular entity, and it could not be done by a single person. This is something that was clearly, from the beginning, if blockchain was the key to creating trust, that internet of trust, there's the equivalent of the blockchain of people in working together. That's its own type of a blockchain, and we really wanted to, again, combine those two. We really wanted to figure that out. So we knew from the beginning that this was going to be a collaborative ecosystem. That's what was needed. And so with my 3 co-founders, we set the foundation for an ecosystem. And that's always been our vision, is we've seen it, that it's going to start with a small nucleus, as it did, and it's growing. We now, just this beginning of our ecosystem is now covering the globe already. We have offices worldwide, and we now have over 100, well over 100 full-time employees. So this is the beginning, as I say. This is stage 1, and we're at the moment in time where we're about to move to that next stage. And in that next stage, these numbers will explode. They're going to go much higher. Because at the core, when we started out, it wasn't all about creating a currency. It was about creating an ecosystem that would leverage distributed ledger technology, that would leverage the potential of blockchain. But we also were very clear that we wanted to create, at the middle of that, bringing it all together, there needs to be a currency, and that currency should be the best possible currency. So we really looked at the hybrid approach, right? So we wanted to take all the great decentralized virtues that have appeared and that really came with the advent of Bitcoin. But we also saw a lot of advantages to the centralized models that were already popular in the world. And there's a balance that needs to be struck. And we thought that with the best of each, we could optimize a digital currency that would be the ultimate digital currency. And so elements like an authenticated network, we wanted greater utility, better performance, greater efficiency, wider distribution, enhanced security, greater liquidity, again, a robust ecosystem, broader adoption, so going mainstream, and we needed to have this have full compliance. We put together a number of features that we thought would help us to achieve those attributes, those objectives. And really at the core, in addition to innovation, is trust. We saw that trust was how you were going to combine the security that's needed, the utility that's wanted, the liquidity that's desired, and then ultimately the capital appreciation. To really achieve that, you need a combination of elements. And so we put that together, and this has been our roadmap. We built on a very, very powerful base of technology. The code base is called Graphene. It was essentially a hard fork of BitShares, which many of you know, a very prominent cryptocurrency. And we are very happy with that choice. We've done a lot of our own proprietary coding on that base, but that base has been a tremendous asset to this whole effort. And this blockchain is built for speed, it's built for scalability, and it's built for security. And an example is this element of scalability. Bitcoin is capable of 3 transactions per second. Ethereum 20, something of a huge network, Visa, they're capable of around 50,000, but they do around 2,000. So that gives you a sense. The Visa network does about 2,000 transactions per second worldwide. It is up and down, of course, but that gives you a sense of how many transactions, and that's a lot. But this blockchain is capable of over 100,000 transactions per second, and that can be optimized to go higher. So we have the base to build on. And as some earlier speakers had pointed out, interoperability is the future, and our model is really, really attuned to interoperability. We want to embrace a lot of the emerging new technologies that are coming to market and have those interoperable within the DAS ecosystem. So we're agile and we're really positioned for the future. It was very important to have a digital wallet system that was easy to use, but was very secure. And so we did something that is unique in the entire industry, and we require all the members within our system to use a hardware device, the validator. And that decision was made as a systemic idea to just keep the entire ecosystem as safe as possible. And we're, again, very happy with that decision as well. Now, a lot of you are aware of what many have called our silver bullet. It has to do with a big problem that a lot of cryptocurrencies have, which is, well, how do you use that? What do you use it on? And we, with that hybrid type of structure, we've been able to form the relationships that are needed to put together a solution that leverages an existing technology that's out there that many of you are probably aware of. The Apple Pay, there's VodaPay, there's many versions of this where through an app you can choose to upload a credit card. It becomes a virtual credit card. But rather than using a credit card, with our solution, you are basically able to have the app check your DasCoin balance, and when at the time that purchase is made, it then provides the merchant with the necessary funds to complete that transaction. So you're not having to go and sell, your DasCoin and then route it over to a dedicated account, kind of a prepaid situation. There's some of those solutions out there. This preserves your ability to hold that value, and we believe there's many reasons why that's the place that you will want to hold your value, rather than transferring it over and preparing it for ease of spend. So this solution is very unique in the entire industry, and we're very, very excited about releasing this, and that's coming up in this quarter. But at the heart of this, as I said earlier, this is not about, DasCoin is the store of value in this system, but this is really about a blockchain economy. And we intend for this ecosystem to be the world's most integrated blockchain economy. There was talk from one of the earlier speakers about that kind of interoperability, and that absolutely is going to become a reality. It has to. But we think that there are advantages to interoperability that is attuned within an ecosystem. So we think that there are greater ways to leverage that interoperability among members of a dedicated ecosystem. And so we think that that model is going to bear a lot of fruit in the coming days. Really at the core of everything that we're doing is this platform. The ecosystem is building a platform, a global network that is DasNet. And the core of that is an authenticated blockchain community. So this is, we had in our previous presentations, the need for authentication is very clear. And we felt that from the very beginning. And we thought the only way for this to reach the true scale that's possible is to have authentication built into it, is to solve that whole anonymity problem that plagues the internet today. And we see that with Facebook. We see that it's going to come up more and more. It's the internet of trust that needs to be created, that is being created. And at the core of it is authentication. And so that's why we do the KYC, the know your client, know your customer. That's why we are reaching out to jurisdictions throughout the world and engaging in order to help solve the problems that regulators face right now. There's a shift, there's a massive shift in the economy going on right now. And a lot of people, it's very hard to, you can see it in the market. The market is up and down in cryptocurrency because that's all about price discovery. The market doesn't, there's no one's sure of how to value this. And by the same token, many of the regulators don't know, is our tax base, disappearing here? How do we play in this? And so very similarly to this kind of a forum, which we really believe in, and that's why we do forums like this. That's why our ecosystem, those previous speakers are not all part of our ecosystem. We believe in the messages of all of those speakers, and that we think is very important to the whole idea of educating, whether that's the general public, whether that's regulators, the media. We're very committed to that because we think that's the way we ultimately get to the maximum benefits, and so that we're very committed to. Now, with that core, we can build platforms around it. We can build application services around it, and that's what's happening now. So we have a core that has over 100,000 customers on it, and so these are all authenticated customers. So we're taking that core and we're building platforms around it. We're adding application services that ultimately are going to be creating applications. And that's the next phase that we're getting into. And so to support that, we have an array of technical support, business support, marketing functions, customer support. These are all available through our platform, through the DasNet infrastructure. And that's how we're going to build value in this ecosystem and ultimately bring a new economy to life. And it's an economy that's built on digital payments, smart contracts, record keeping, digital assets. There's an absolutely astounding amount of new applications that most of which are blockchain based, but others are just simply distributed, decentralized applications, new versions of a social network, but completely decentralized. Think about a social network where people are in control of their information, of their data, and they allow a social network to use it or not use it. That's where the future is, and that's a future that's possible on our infrastructure. Now, we've made some statements in the past, and we've had many achievements, but we've had some big moments. And we called some shots, and we came through. And that first one that a lot of people talk about is the launch of our DasCoin blockchain. That happened, as many people here may remember, on March 31st, 2017, last year. And that was in Zurich. And that was a really exciting big moment where we've unleashed this technology for the first time. We had another big moment where in Tokyo, we launched the DAS Exchange. And that was allowing, for the first time, the members of our community to actively trade in a decentralized exchange between party to party. They determine the price, and they've been exchanging 24/7 since that time, for the past 6 months, 7 months now. And now we are on the precipice, and I'm really, it's just it's quite a journey that's brought us here. It's taken some of the top developers in the world. We have working on this project. We have some of the top executives in the world working on this project, and incredible support staff. We have an amazing array of people that are focused, that work tirelessly around this effort, and they deliver. And they delivered on March 31st of 2017. They delivered on September 30th of that same year, and they're going to be delivering tomorrow. And it's an exciting moment that we'll be trading on public exchanges. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. And it's exciting. And then we'll be launching DasPay in this same quarter. So before the end of this quarter, we're going to have one more of these big deliverables. And this, again, is just setting the stage for the next phase. And for all of you that will be joining us tomorrow, and if you aren't joining us tomorrow, please look at we're streaming it live. So please be sure to share this moment with us, because we also are going to be unveiling a lot of the new partners that are working, that we're attracting and are committed to working on this platform, on this entire ecosystem. So I really am very, very happy that you all could be here tonight for this, and I'm really, really happy and feel just, I'd like everybody to, just a round of applause for the speakers. The other speakers we had, I just think are outstanding. And I really, really happy with them. And again, tomorrow, if you can't be there, please tune in and join us for this historic moment. So thank you, everybody. I really, really appreciate you being here. Thanks. Thank you.